Let's talk about procrastination. Do you struggle with procrastination? Do you get criticized for procrastinating or beat yourself up about it? If so, you are in the right place. What if I told you that your procrastination wasn't actually holding you back, but instead guiding you forward? And that it wasn't a sign that you were being lazy, but that your soul was actually getting you to slow down, turn inwards, and realign before taking action. In this video, we're going to talk about how procrastination might actually be productive. So let's jump in. So before we dive into how procrastination might actually be productive, let's actually quickly touch on what you've been told procrastination is. Well, procrastination is seen as very negative and a sign that you're delaying doing something that you know you have to do, but you're just simply not doing it. And society, everyone around us, reinforces that procrastination is a sign that you're being lazy, that you're not doing your work, it's a lack of self-control, and you're simply avoiding. So procrastination is seen as a negative thing. And I'm just gonna interject here and say that I belong to the procrastination club. Between my spouse and I, he is the proactive one and I am the procrastinator. So I feel like I can speak to this and we understand each other. All right, so what are some examples of how procrastination comes up in the day-to-day? It's kind of helpful to look at a few actual scenarios before diving into what actually might be going on and how it's potentially productive. One example that comes to mind is at work. Maybe you are putting off doing that report or that initiating something in the project or doing some kind of work that you know is actually critical, but instead you're choosing to answer emails, clean your desk, organize your desk, go talk to that employee down the hall at the next cubicle, whatever it is, wherever you work. You're choosing to do other things that are not as critical and putting off doing the one thing that you know like is super, super important and that you need to do. So that's an example. Another one that comes to mind is, and I've experienced these, so if you have, like, you're in good company. Another one is like health and fitness. Maybe you know that you need to start a new plan of eating that is going to help you achieve your ideal weight. Maybe you know that you need to move your body and exercise or do something that is going to help your health. Or maybe it's about even going to see the doctor over something and you just keep putting it off. And there's always tomorrow, right? We put it off, there's always tomorrow, I'll start tomorrow, I don't have time, all the reasons, it keeps getting put off. Another one that comes to mind is a little bit like the work one, but it has to do with more creative projects. So let's say you're a creative person, you're an author, you're a course creator, you are an artist, and you are trying to actually create your work of art, your piece of art, your book, the thing that you're trying to write, whatever it is, but you just keep putting it off. You are not sitting down and doing the thing, even though you have this feeling, I really need to do this thing, I really want to do this thing, I don't know why I'm not doing this thing, and you're actually not sitting and doing the thing. So those three examples, at least for me, are very relevant and I've experienced before. And I'm wondering in the comments if you want to mention, like, what are some examples that you have experienced in terms of procrastination that I didn't necessarily touch on? And I would love to know how procrastination has showed up in your life. Let's keep going. So with that procrastination, there could actually be a few things going on. There could be limiting beliefs at play. Maybe you're holding yourself back because you feel like you're not good enough, you don't know enough, you don't have the skill set, it's just going to fail, that kind of thing. So there might be limiting beliefs at play. There could also be fear. Maybe there's a genuine fear, whether you recognize it or not, that is holding you back from doing the thing. So those are very legitimate reasons for not progressing forward. The other reason, the reason that I mentioned at the beginning of the video, is that perhaps it's your soul actually asking you to pause, go inwards, and take stock of something before actually taking action. So now let's look at that piece of it and what could actually be going on, because consider that your procrastination is actually happening for a reason. There's a reason that you are not taking that initiative and moving forward. So doing the thing that you're supposed to do is a masculine energy. Doing, being in motion, taking action, moving forward is a masculine energy. And then pausing, intuition, taking stock, listening to your spirit, listening to your higher self is a feminine energy. So let's look at what is happening that is stopping you from like a masculine energy and a feminine energy. And this has nothing to do with whether you're a guy or a girl. It has everything to do with the energies at play. So this is not about like sexual orientation. It is about how you are going inwards and then what you're doing with it outwards, okay? So what does the divine masculine energy feel like or even look like? Well, it's going to sound very familiar to you because this is the world that we live in. This is all the stuff that is highly coveted on this planet. So as an example, the first one is action and purpose. Divine masculine is driven by purpose, by goals, by taking action. It is the force of energy that pushes someone forward to help them accomplish tasks and goals. Logic and reasoning is also associated with the divine masculine energy. It focuses on problem solving and intellect for getting through challenging times. The divine masculine also serves to create safety and protection. So those are associated with that energy, as are discipline and focus. This energy values discipline, structure, self-control, setting boundaries, and sticking to routines. And the last characteristic is leadership and control. This energy embraces that leader control, directing and guiding others, assertiveness. It's all part of the divine masculine. So procrastination might be happening because you've been embodying this divine masculine energy and like go, 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 and not actually infusing your life, your day to day, your week to week, your month to month with any divine feminine. Those two need to be in balance so that you're not only living your best life, but you're living in flow, you're living in ease. So what are the characteristics of the divine feminine energy? The divine feminine energy is deeply connected to intuition and inner knowing, and being able to trust that inner knowing instead of relying solely on external validation. Another divine feminine energy quality is creativity and flow. This energy is linked to allowing the creativity to flow naturally and organically, uninhibited. That is a divine feminine energy. Nurturing and compassion is also a divine feminine energy. Showing people empathy, being supportive, being in a healing type of role is divine feminine. Honoring change, understanding that there are cycles of change, there are ebbs and flows, is divine feminine energy as well. And last, connecting to earth, spirituality, connecting to guides and God and the animals and plants is a divine feminine energy. So you see how those two are very, very different, and how our modern day world doesn't really value the divine feminine and really values the divine masculine. But those two need to be in balance. And what might be happening with the procrastination is that, like I mentioned before, there might be too much of the divine masculine and not enough of that feminine. And so you are being kind of held back. Your spirit, your soul is kind of holding you back, going, you're not ready to go out and do that thing just yet, because all those divine feminine energies, you haven't allowed your intuition to kick in, your inner guidance to kick in, that creativity to kick in. You're just trying to plow forward and push forward and like go, because that's what we've been taught is the right thing to do. But instead, no, that procrastination is actually a chance for you to take a step back and go, okay, what is my intuition telling me? What is my inner guidance showing me? Have I allowed my creative juices to actually flow through? Am I in a time where this is the right cycle for me to be able to step forward and do the thing? So how do you balance the divine masculine and divine feminine energies in your day-to-day? Like, let's look at some practical ways to do this. The first way is how you start your day. As soon as you wake up, do you quickly open your phone or just like rush out of bed and get going with your day without even really pausing and thinking? I feel like that's a lot of us, especially parents, because we're probably getting woken up by young children and we don't really have a chance to think. One suggestion I have is to allow yourself space when you get up, however you make that happen. If it's setting your alarm a little bit earlier, then you know your kids are going to get up, or a little bit earlier so that you have some space before you have to get ready for work. However that looks, allow yourself a few minutes to just close your eyes and center yourself, kind of let your thoughts kind of clear away. This is not your time to go through your to-do list. Close your eyes, allow for like a blank mind, a blank slate, and just take a few deep breaths. And that is a space where that divine wisdom, that inner knowing, that intuition has space to come in. And then set your intention for the day. Today is going to be a day where I am productive. I'm going to be happy today. I am going to allow things to flow. Things are going to be easy for me. Actually say out loud what it is that you want your day to look like. Set that intention. So those are divine feminine elements. And then get up and go start your day and do the actions that you need to do. That will be your divine masculine. So that's the first way you can infuse this into your day. Another way you can infuse this into your day is actually create a plan, right? How do you want this day to look? And this is probably really easy for you because you do it anyway. You plan out your work week or tomorrow's work day. If you're a student, you plan out the things that you have to get done for school the next day, that type of thing. If you're a parent and this is just about the parenting part of it, you know, okay, tomorrow, doctor's appointment, and then we have to go pick up these things from the store. I've run out of this. I need to go grocery shopping. So we have our plan. We set our plan, but we actually allow for that plan to change. We feel into, is this going smoothly? Is something kind of really calling in my mind to, instead of going to the grocery store right now, I just have this like urgent now feeling that I need to go do this other thing instead, which could be dropping something off at a neighbor's house or a friend's house or a parent's house. Whatever that nudge is, that like strong feeling of inspiration, that is your intuition trying to interject and go, it's not the right time to go do this thing over here, even though it's in your plan. The right thing to do right now is this thing over here, because there are unseen things that you don't know about that are at play that are making this thing over here a more opportune time than this thing over here. So create your plan, masculine, but allow the go with the flow when your intuition and inspiration kicks in, the divine feminine. So that's another way to make these two things work. Another suggestion is to tune into your body as you're going through your day. That is a divine feminine energy. Tuning in to see, is my body like a yes for what I'm doing? Or is it like, no, this is not actually the right thing? And as you tune into your body, you'll be able to get a sense for how that divine masculine plan is working for you. Is it actually working for you, or are you getting kind of no signals all around? Sometimes there are things that we have to do, whether we like it or not. totally get that and totally been there and still there. But there are other times when your body is like giving you like this, it's kind of contracting, it's going inwards, it's like almost like repelling and saying like, no, this is not the right place to be, this is not the right person to be talking to, this is not the right activity to be doing. As I'm saying this, the perfect example comes to mind. We were looking for furniture. This was like a few months ago. Didn't end up buying anything, but went into this furniture store, very beautiful furniture store, very, very expensive furniture. And immediately I had this feeling of like, no. And then the sales guy came up to me, and I haven't felt this way in a long time, but I could not get away from this guy fast enough. I was just like, all my energy was going towards like trying to push him away. And I kept walking around the store, and he kept wanting to talk to me and talk to my husband. And I was just like, I need to get away from this person. Like, my body is clearly saying, no, this is not the right place to be. This is not the right person to be talking to. I don't know why. He seemed lovely. He was probably very nice, but it was just like all signs pointing to no. So we got out of there, and I never went back and never even really talked about it. But I was just like, it's not even an option to buy anything from them, not only because the prices were like, you buy a couch for the price of a car, but that it was just like not right for us, not right for me at least. So that's an example that comes to mind. Pay attention to your body. Paying attention to how your body is feeling is divine feminine as you go through your day doing the divine masculine stuff. I've got 2 more suggestions. The next one is allow creativity. The more you allow yourself to just be silly in that creativity and not actually structured, the more you will allow that divine feminine to flow. You've seen the rise in like adult coloring books. So if it's coloring that is your thing to allow for creativity, pull out an adult coloring book and start to color. Maybe take on painting, but don't actually worry about learning how to correctly paint something. Just pull out the colors that make you happy on the surface that makes you happy, like canvas, not the wall, but just start to paint and let it flow. You hear so many people saying like, I taught myself how to paint. I just allow that to flow through me. I don't even really know what I'm doing. I'm just doing it. That's perfect. That is your divine feminine flowing through you. And then you'll notice as you do that, that you will get more ideas of inspiration, more just things coming to your mind that would make the rest of your life better. It's not just about that creative kind of activity that you're doing. It's for your entire life. You'll start to get ideas as you're doing that creative project. So that's another suggestion. And the last one is going to seem like an obvious one, but many of us are not good at this one, is allowing yourself to rest and relax. That is very much a divine feminine thing instead of the divine masculine, which is like going out and doing all the things and taking action. Rest is a divine feminine. And so why rest? Well, that's your chance to actually take a step back and allow space. When you are resting, and rest could look like different things for different people. So before I jump into the next part of that, what could rest be? Rest could be, sleeping in. It could be slowly having your tea or coffee while reading something that you enjoy. It could be sitting in your backyard and just taking in the nature, sitting on your front porch and watching the people walk by. Just taking that chance to rest and relax is a way for that inner guidance, that intuition, those nudges of inspiration to have space to find their way, for things to kind of simmer in your subconscious. So instead of you consciously thinking about something, it's kind of happening in the background. And then when it's ready, it kind of comes to the front and you get this idea and you're like, oh, I know what to do now. And you can just go and act on it and do it. That is why rest and relaxation is really productive. And so now you kind of have a sense of how to infuse your day with both the masculine divine energy and the feminine divine energy, so that procrastination isn't seen as something that's lazy, something that's bad, but it's actually productive. You are giving yourself space to take a step back, to allow the divine wisdom to come through, if you allow yourself to kind of simmer in that divine feminine energy and then take action when you're inspired to, that inspired action that you hear about, wait for that plug of idea to come in, or that like, go do this now type of thing. So let's go back to the examples that we had before, right? Like with the work project, with the not working out and not starting that creative thing that maybe you're trying to start. So if we look at those examples, what could productive procrastination be about with those examples? Well, in the work examples where you're not doing the thing that you know is critical and you're actually cleaning your desk instead or answering emails instead, maybe maybe the solution you're looking for that's going to go into that report, or the right words to say to the audience that is going to be getting that report, hasn't really come together in your subconscious yet. And you're waiting for that to all fill in your subconscious before you get that like, oh, I know how to write this, and then you go do it, and just like takes, a third of the time than if you had made yourself kind of sit and forced yourself to do that report when it wasn't the right time for you. In terms of not working out or eating the way you know you should be eating, maybe there's something about that plan that's not right for you. Maybe you're using your logic, the divine masculine, to say, I need to do this, this, and this in order to get fit and be healthy. But maybe there's something else going on in your system that you're not aware of, and that might actually be not the right approach. Maybe you need to start slower. Maybe it's a different workout. Maybe there's something going on with the joints that like it's a different form of movement that you haven't considered yet. So then pay attention to what are you being shown, maybe like online, or if you happen to go someplace and see a sign for something and it's for a certain type of workout or a certain type of doctor or a certain type of like physical assistance, and it really kind of resonates with you, your body's kind of going like, yes, like this, like pay attention to this, then like that's your inspired nudge to look into that further to see if you continue to be a yes for whatever it is that you're seeing. The last one was the creative project, whether it's like you're trying to write a book or create a work of art or create a course. Like maybe you're a course creator and you keep wanting to sit down and create this course, but like you just can't do it. and you don't know why. You don't know what's stopping you because you know you want to. Maybe your divine masculine is telling you that maybe the thing that you're trying to do isn't really what you're aligned to be doing. Maybe it's being driven by ego, as an example. Maybe it's about money. Maybe you're making that course because you need to make a lot of money or you want to make a lot of money. Maybe you're writing that book because you think that that's the topic that everybody wants, or that's what the book publisher has told you that you have to write, but it's not actually aligned with your purpose. It's not aligned with what you should be putting out into the world. And so your soul's kind of holding you back, going, no, like we're almost there. You almost have it. You're on the right path. You just need to kind of like change the trajectory a little bit. And that's your chance to take a step back and go, okay, what is going on here that I am not wanting to do this? What is it that would actually make me really happy? What is it that I want to put out into the world that I want to be known for? And really allowing yourself that space to let your intuition give you that guidance. Automatic writing might be a great way to get that information. I created a video on automatic writing that would be great for solving this problem. And so if you want to check it out, I will link it in the notes below. But really allowing that divine feminine energy of taking the step back and allowing your intuition to give you that guidance. So then when you do take action, the divine masculine, you are actually taking the right action. Another example that comes to mind is if you were meaning to call somebody and you've just been putting off this phone call, and all of a sudden you get this feeling like, call now, call now, call now. That, like, call now, because that is your sign. Like, now is the time. The cooperative components have aligned. There is something that is going to be beneficial by doing it right now. So that is productive procrastination. It's simply a way for your soul telling you it's time to slow down so that the right things can come together, the cooperative components, your intuition, all those things. It's giving you a chance to get those all in order and aligned so that when you take action, it's the right action. It is going to lead to your highest and best good. So that's when procrastination can be a good thing, when you are allowing that space, but following those nudges. When you get that nudge of inspiration, you got to go with it. Because if you don't go with it, then it's procrastination, and we got to look at what's really going on. Is it limiting beliefs? Is it fear? Is it something else? So I hope this video has helped. I would love to know in the comments what was your biggest takeaway from this video. And like I asked before, if there's any examples of procrastination that I didn't mention that you have experienced, that you're now looking back going, oh, I see how this now worked out for me because I was actually waiting for that inspired action. I'll see you in the next video.